heart's desire, but it is only fair for them to do this. I believe it is God's way of preventing chaos in Ablekuma North and Ghana at large. The party leadership has engaged us and urged us to cooperate with the process, so we accept it. Shouldn't this be the language the MPP should be speaking?
Absolutely not. And please don't bring God into these things. He gave us a brain. He expects us to use it. He created an earth and put all these things in it. And today we are doing all kinds of fantastic things. Somebody can take a hat from somebody else, put it in another person, sew it up, and send the person walking. So God has given us enough to handle our issues. This is not about that. There are a few times that you agree entirely with someone, and I'll get to that, because we agree with us, you didn't get here. And you need to note that Imani's position is not recent. We've been sounding the warning about the EC for about 10 years, and specifically about this EC. So if you say I should frame it, this is how I look at it from a point of view of an analyst who has been looking at this institution. I have taken them to court and won. They refused to implement it. We have taken them to Shraj. We have challenged them on the figures. We've been ridiculed, etc. We've maintained our position. Today, people are seeing what we are talking about. The politicians haven't changed. The political parties haven't changed. Okay? And you can expect that they will fight for what, for whatever is worth. Because
when you say you agree with the NDC chairman.
Yes, I agree.
He says they are not fit for purpose. The first three of them, they should be removed.
We agree. I'll come there. So I'm framing it. And I'm starting by saying there's a history, as an EC and things we've been saying. Here, you have a situation where you have what is called catastrophic failure. Catastrophic failure is where I give you every resource you need to do something for me, which is simple enough for you to be able to do with your competence and the resources I've given you, and you fail totally. That's what we've gotten. When you have catastrophic failure, it is either an unwillingness to do the job or incompetence to do so. And I said, okay, I said so. He said, this EC is not fit for purpose. They are either unwilling to do the job or incompetent. I think they are incompetent. They have shown it over and over again. For the first time in our lives, after 30-something years of a democracy, we had SAL go for 4 years without representation. Today, we have an empty seat. All right? Now, go to the facts to show that they are incompetent. Okay? You have a statement where they've said, okay, I won't read it again. They've said that we have 3 problems. We need security to go and fix it. Under oath in the court. When you have those facts under oath in the court, you stick to them. Why have they changed it? And you know what? When you change things like this and you just decide you are going to, shift positions, serious matters like this, if we were in a situation where they could be fired, they should have been fired long ago. And if they were not fired, it would be the irresponsibility of the person who should have fired them. But here we have a constitution where they cannot ordinarily be fired. That's why I agree with the student get here. Listen, I think all the 3 should go. They should resign. If they don't resign, this is one of the few cases, in fact, the only case I remember. We had our issues concerning the EC before this present EC. There were some issues during Charlotte's time. We engaged there. She was working on some of them, and then she went. In this particular case, in Charlotte's case, I wasn't happy with the removal of Charlotte and the way it went, because we predicted that if this goes this way, then every politician will come and they will keep removing people. In this case, I will be happy if they move to remove all the 3. And this is not the first time I'm saying so. Because we've had this catastrophic failure, and again, because of time, look, if you assemble the facts as we have them, okay, what happened in Ablekuma North, they came out and said...
Just a second, staying with the remove them thing. I thought you had joined us on the campaign that we need to refine the law so that not every mistake or error or misconduct of such officers must lead to removal.
Yes.
They should, like all of us, when we take a misstep somewhat in our places of employment, we may get a reprimand, we may get a suspension, we may get some punishment, but not the ultimate removal.
I said, in all the other cases, we have been against it. So in that sense, I agree with you. And that position still remains. But I also said that this is the one case where there is no room for reprimand or whatever it is. And this is the one case where consistently this group has shown themselves incompetent and unwilling. And this is the one case where this same group, after all, I don't have the time to go through the litany of things, but here you have a situation where they have gone to court under oath and sworn that this is the problem they have. Then they come back and they shift the position. This one group is not credible. They are not competent. They should go. And I said they should resign. That's the easiest way. If you don't know your job, leave it. But if they don't resign, they should be removed. Look, this country is more important. I was going to make the point before you came that if you assemble...
The same point.
The same point. If you assemble the facts of Ablekuma North, call 5 SHS students and assemble the facts, they will unanimously tell you that the EC is at fault. This is a matter of incompetence. And if you have this level of catastrophic failure, which is so obvious, even from court documents, why are we jumping?
Can I get a consistency
Yes.
in your advocacy on this matter of removal? When Dampare was being hounded out, my position was the same as I suggest now, that if he had committed some sins, it was possible to sit down with him and take a correctional approach that you have done A, B, C wrong. We'll give you X time to remedy them and to not, as it were, chart this path. Rather than say the only way out is to remove you.
I hear you don't believe at the point. Look,
I thought you supported me then. Now you are saying that people have committed some mistakes and errors.
Believe you are
they must be
forcing
removed.
me to elaborate further. I still support that position. Okay? And I don't want to personalize this to Dampare. But all these states, actors and whatever it is, there are sufficient processes. In the case of EC, all right, these are not available. You don't have a situation where there's a police council or an EC council. It is not there. The only way out is for them to resign because they themselves have resisted. I said, I remember because I was part of this. From when attempts were made to audit them. And auditing was proper. Later on, it was declared that, yes, that was proper. They resisted it. We made attempts. There are IT experts that can prove that you can't buy an expensive printer and only use the fax function. There are so many things, but they refuse any kind of advice from any quarter. So what we have said about others will not apply to them. And to that point, look, I have said, Imani has said, and I repeat, it is time for us now to amend the Constitution. It's in the hands of HKP to totally change the laws which insulate the EC from some of the things we are talking about, and therefore they can't even, correct themselves. It is time from what the Constitution says about their independence, etc., how the EC heads are appointed, etc., and all the things down to the allies. But let's be clear, today as we speak, there is no shortage of laws or processes to resolve what is happening in Ablekuma North. And again, actually, Nketiah said it. So when you have had that kind of situation there, then it is incompetence. And now the incompetence is morphing into collusion. Let me be clear. I think they are afraid of the NDC.
And is that collusion?
Please, let me make my point.
Imagine that is true.
I have
is that
made
collusion?
my point that incompetence is morphing into collusion. One. Number two, they are afraid of the NDC. They are afraid to do the things that they themselves have decided that they want to do because somehow they want to avoid what Asiedun Nketiah has said openly, that they believe they must be removed. Let me tell you, whether you boil it or you fry it, the NDC will remove you. And in this particular case, you will not have anybody helping you. So this collusion, and I say collusion because who doubts that if you rerun this election, the NDC will win? Who doubts it? And for that matter, I don't think the MPP is being difficult in that matter. They are being absolutely clear, and they are serious politicians. They know what is happening. When a strong man and a weak man have a simple case that goes to the palace, and the case or the verdict of the case delays in coming out, it means the strong man is losing. You have a situation like this where the government in power, clearly sees that if the EC does what they have sworn in court to do, it may not be in their interest. All of a sudden, they've shifted. The verdict is not coming out. And now we have to go and rerun everything. How did it move?
But how can you say with such certainty that if they went to the rerun, the NDC will win?
That's what I'm explaining to you. That one, when you have a situation which does not defy resolution, you've sworn that there are 3 problems. Go and do it. When you say all I need is security, take security. And I'm saying when you have a strong man and a weak man take a simple matter to court or to the palace, and the verdict is delaying coming, means the strong man is losing, which is why they are taking stances to help the strong man, which is what I'm calling
the same voters whose votes they are having problems counting or they're having problems certifying will be the ones who will vote.
No. So some people who
if they voted for the NPP, they will keep the NPP.
No.
If they voted for the NDC, they will also vote for the NDC.
That is what is called a simplistic analysis. That the same people who voted are going to go back and vote. It will never be so. Some of the people have died, some have traveled. Some people who voted NDC have changed their mind and they'll vote NPP. Some people who voted NPP have changed their mind and they'll vote NDC. Giving even the atmosphere.
So that gives you a fair resolution?
No, it is not. You see, an election is a snapshot in time, which an institution which is powered by law and the Constitution should take. And when you take that snapshot in time, it does not mean it is a perfect view of everybody. But that snapshot in time is the law, and that is what we are going to proceed with. That snapshot in time has been taken. The results are there today on paper. Hold on. And we have been saying to this EC that there is no reason why today I can scan something on my phone and send it to a place. Why you cannot do the send the pink sheet straight to the headquarters on the same day, etc. And I heard the other lady say it. And the EC has been dead eared to all of these things, and they keep on doing totally perverse things which lead us into this situation. Look, I have no doubt that the present position of the EC is supposed to help them keep their positions there, and it's not going to help them. I worry about what it means for this country. What it means is that if you sense something is going to happen, it doesn't matter. Just disrupt the system. And whoever comes and has the power will be able to manage it to their advantage. The EC should go back based on what they filed in court. Give them the security, let them deal with the outstanding. No new election is required. It will be an aberration.
The EC, this is what the EC did, and yet it is being faulted. Why?